Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the India Today Mumbai Conclave. After a long hiatus, we're back in election season. That's right. In a few days from now, the Bihar elections will be announced, and the elections are expected in November this year. It's the last big battle of 2025, which is why my colleague Maria Shakil and I want to ask the big question: who is winning the battle for Bihar? And to answer that question, I'm joined by three special guests. Amitabh Tiwari of Voter Vibes joins me. Yashwant Deshmukh of C Voter, and Pradeep Gupta of Axis My India. So three psephologists are here, three pollsters are here. Before we go anywhere else, I want to ask all three of you, after what happened in 2024, where almost all of you had egg on your face, which I would have presumed you're still wiping off, you're still going to predict elections? Mr. Pradeep Gupta, you still want to predict elections after what happened in 2024, where you said 400 par that ended up in 280, 290? Go ahead.
Rajdeep.
I won't make you cry this time.
No, I'm telling you, I'm replying you, don't worry on that front. Who will stop playing after losing one or two matches?
Aha.
I mean, we need to play on. And nevertheless, as you mentioned, the wiping the axe out, just to once again, I'm not trying to defend our community or myself. See, for predicting any election, what is the prime objective? Who is likely to win the election, isn't it? And even during Lok Sabha 2024, we have predicted NDA 360 odd seats to 400 seats, as you rightly pointed out, and NDA ended up winning 293 seats. So still NDA formed the government, and the first very objective of predicting the election was somehow, we could not predict it as we are known for the accurate numbers, etc., which is fine and fair.
Okay. Yashwant Deshmukh, you're going to be brave enough to predict who's winning Bihar?
Yeah, I mean, that's normal. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do for a job. That's what we do for a living. So, yeah, okay. I mean, the first question, because it was directed more towards Pradeep, I would presume so, because I still like to call myself a print guy, where I started my journey with India Today, 23 years back, mood of the nation. So 335, yeah, maybe you can say that even 335 was a few X.
Okay,
I made an omelette.
Okay.
And I ate it up, okay. And then I'm here sitting it up again.
We won't do a post-mortem of 2024. Yeah. Let's look ahead. I want to remind viewers that my colleague Maria Shakil is from Bihar, so she knows Bihar inside out. Before Maria takes over, I'm not asking Amitabh the question of 2024 because he was cleverer. He didn't predict what would happen, so he doesn't have to face the egg and the omelette. But let's start with Bihar and tell you what happened in the last 3 assembly elections in Bihar. So you have a sense of why Bihar is such a difficult state at times to understand. What happened in 2010 was a clear landslide for the NDA. The JDU, BJP just swept Bihar like never before. 115 to JDU, 91 to BJP in a 234 member assembly. Come 2015, just the reverse happened. The Mahagathbandhan, or the opposition, swept it with Lalu Prasad and Nitish coming close, forging an alliance. Nitish is the common factor, as you will see. By 2020, though, it was as tight as it could get. Just a 12,000 vote difference between the two main alliances. So 3 elections, 3 very different verdicts. Amitabh Tiwari, is Bihar therefore a nightmare for psephologists, or is it a relatively easier state that wherever 2 out of the 3 parties align, the major parties, JDU, RJD and BJP, if 2 go on one side, game, set and match. It's like a triangle. 2 have to go on one side and you win the election, more often than not.
See, it is a trickier state in the sense that in both 2015 and 2020, most of the pollsters have got it wrong. Because in 2015, it was generally believed that NDA would win. And in 2020, it was the consensus that Mahagathbandhan is winning. But NDA won the elections in the end. So it's a tricky state for pollsters because there are many parties involved here. There are not just these top three parties, but many smaller parties which bring an additional vote share to different alliances. And most of these smaller parties are with different partners in different elections. Correct? So this time around also it looks to be a very tight battle. And we have 1.5 months of campaign left. Elections have not been announced yet.
And I just want to add that, make Pradeep Gupta smile. He actually got 2015 right.
Yes.
When everyone else was predicting an NDA victory, there was a Modi wave after 2014. Pradeep Gupta got that election right. So, kuch aap sahi nikalte hai, kuch galat nikalte hai. That's life.
And Pradeep also had spoken about 2020 Bihar. Of course, the elections, many say, Rajdeep, that shifted from the first phase to the second phase. And the sense was that in the second phase, more women came out to vote. So let's look at the second slide because this becomes important in the context of Bihar. Because on 27th of this month, close to 80 lakh women of Bihar will get 10,000 rupees each. With the direct benefit transfer scheme having been thrown into this entire mix of caste and coalitions, Bihar has become even more tricky to predict. Let's look at this number now. We are looking at northern and eastern Bihar, which are dominated by shades of red and orange, which actually indicate that women outvoted men by a significant margin. In fact, in Baisi, it is almost like 22% more women turn out. Elections were actually moving from this side to upwards, and that is the reason why it became difficult to predict the elections in 2020. When we look at western and southern part of Bihar, that's where men perhaps voted more, and that is Bikram, minus 11.2%. But women in general have been that very important factor in the context of Bihar, and that's why I'll bring you again, Pradeep Gupta. Because when you speak about 2020, the vote share or vote difference between the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan is just around 12,000 votes. Many would say that that is largely the vote that administration brings in if the elections shift. When the vote, the counting process begins and it starts moving. But with direct benefit transfer coming in this election, has it become even more difficult?
I would not say difficult, but I would say it makes at least one of the party or Gathbandhan lives easier to predict. In the sense, if this is working out, the direct transfer of money to the women's account, and if women are shifting in bulk, then our life and everybody's life is much easier to predict.
But are they really shifting? Won't you say that they are already captive audience of Nitish?
That is something, Maria, you are trying to ask who is winning or if they are shifting. I wish I could answer this question. Even at this point of time, I would say, even Bihar ke votero ko nahi pata hai ki kisko vote karna hai. That is the kind of dynamics playing out in the battleground of Bihar.
No, but are we right in saying, and Yashwant, you can take this, over the last 10 years or maybe even longer, whoever gets a majority of the women votes wins? Delhi was a slight exception. Arvind Kejriwal and the BJP were almost neck and neck in women. In fact, Arvind may have had the Aam Aadmi Party may have had a slight edge, but by and large, Mamta Banerjee, Narendra Modi himself, yes. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, here in Maharashtra last year, Ladki Bahin scheme made a huge difference. Would you agree that whoever gets the woman vote, and Nitish Kumar has consistently got a large section of the woman vote for his various schemes, has a huge advantage in Indian elections today? That the real factor to look at in an election is the M factor, not Muslims, but Mahila.
Absolutely. I mean, goes without saying. I mean, but there is a very, very significant difference as far as the M factor of Bihar is concerned when you compare it or look through the lenses of certain Madhya Pradesh Ladki Bahin scheme or Ladli Bahin scheme of Nitish Kumar is not Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Nitish Kumar is not Eknath Shinde. For a simple reason. Nitish happens to be, at least in my living memory, the first person with a very, very significant approach towards the female vote bank. started 25 years back, Rajdeep, when he distributed bicycles and poshak, as we call it, the uniforms, to the school-going girls in Bihar. And why I feel it is very different, because Mr. Shinde's Yojana or Shivraj Singh Chauhan's Yojana was out of the blue one-time payment thing. While when I look at the brand Nitish Kumar, the daughters of Bihar which got a bicycle and the uniform 25 years back are now the housemakers, the entrepreneurs, the mothers now. And their connection, emotional connect with Nitish Kumar is altogether very different. What emotional connect of female voters in Maharashtra with Mr. Shinde or with Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, even though Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan was more popularly known as Mama. But no, Nitish Kumar's personal connect on the female voter is way more intense and way more deep-rooted than any other politician in India.
Yes. Jivika Didi, all that has been very, very, gender driven, Rajdeep. And that is something that you sense on ground. And when Yashwant points out about that 25-year legacy of Nitish Kumar, it will be about the women voters. Remember Sharab Bandi? That was also done.
Exactly. In Sharab Bandi, it may be a fiscally speaking, it may be a stupid policy for many. But if you will talk to the females, almost 8 or 9 out of 10 would be supporting that policy.
And am I right in saying women now vote far more than they did even 30, 40 years ago?
Yes.
Women turnout has grown. Is it easy for a cephalogist, though, to get and gauge the women voter?
It's difficult.
Politically, people say, because politically people say what Nitish Kumar is doing on the eve of an election is a total bribe. I'm putting 10,000 rupees in the pockets of women. Others will say it's gender empowerment. Do you believe it's easy for a cephalogist? We don't even need to know the numbers if in such a situation.
See, it is difficult because when you go out on the field or when you are doing surveys through calling, fewer females turn up to discuss with you because political discussions many females would not want to do on a face-to-face basis. One data point here which is very interesting is that on 167 seats, the women turnout was more than men. And NDA won 99 of those seats. This entire chunk of red, which was on the top, the NDA swept North Bihar, literally swept North Bihar, including Seemanchal, which has a higher minority population. So this shows what Yashwant ji and Pradeep ji has been saying, that the woman vote can be the kingmaker again, and this 10,000 rupees is a big amount from Bihar's perspective, where the per capita income is also not rupees 10,000. The per capita income is only 6,000 to 7,000. Bribing of voters, yes, you have a point, but that's what happened in MP. One can argue that's what happened in Maharashtra here. Who would have said that NDA was winning 234 seats during the election? That's what happened in Jharkhand. Correct. So this is something which needs to be discussed. We need to discuss as a whole. And even the Supreme Court or the Election Commission needs to work on this. Because if NDA wins Bihar, then this becomes a recipe or a formula for winning elections, which we all have to think about.
And women again are caste neutral as they are seen. Let's move to the other slide that we have, and this is about the caste. Because we say often in the context of Bihar that it's pure arithmetic which is at work here. Let's put out the caste numbers. And this becomes important because it is often said that for Nitish or NDA, it is Mahila plus, their MY is Mahila plus youth. Again, Bihar in that bracket of 18 to 29 age group, there is a huge number, close to 40%. So this is the caste calculation or caste axis of Bihar. Yadavs are around 27%, and Yadav plus Muslims, which is coming to around 35%, would be the captive vote of Lalu Yadav's party, which is RJD. So we are talking about Tejasvi here. Koiri, Kurmis, non-Yadav OBCs again become important because that is again a significant number of 15%, which moves with Nitish Kumar.
So these are basically 105 seats out of 234, where in the last 3 elections, people from the same caste have won. So caste, it's almost as if people in Bihar don't cast their vote, they vote their caste. Do you agree with that, Pradeep Gupta? Between Mahila and Caste is the easiest way to decide for Bihar. 105 out of 234 seats in the last 3 elections, the same caste member has won the election.
In case of Bihar, Rajdeep, this caste factor hold more good than the women factor. Women is anywhere and everywhere. It's like a phenomenon. Why I'm saying you caste? Because Bihar is the only state in that term where Yadav and Muslim combined contributes more than 31-32% of the total vote chunk. But the beauty here is, unlike Uttar Pradesh or even West Bengal or even Assam, Assam also has 30% Muslim, and West Bengal too have. But here in Bihar particularly, the equation is such a way spread across the Bihar, all the 6 regions of Bihar, M plus Y is in the excess of 27%. Even in both the, which is, sometime you say that, Mithilanchal and Bhojpur, even in these 2 regions also it is in the excess of 27% of M-Y combined, which is Muslim and Yadav. So this is the reason why the en masse vote of RJD has always been intact in last 30 to 35 years.
So are we saying, Yashwant Deshmukh, that in Bihar in that sense remains the last Mandal bastion? Uttar Pradesh has seen some element of flux in caste alliances, but in Bihar rock solid. Muslim Yadav firmly with Tejasvi Yadav and the RJD. By and large, the upper castes have remained firmly with the BJP and the OBCs. And the Dalits are the ones who have shifted in recent times to some extent to the BJP. But by and large, Bihar has to be seen through the prism of caste like no other Indian state today. Would you agree with that?
Not fully. I mean, see, UP has been seeing that the Muslim Yadav equation in the similar way. But Akhilesh experimented with MY+. In the last Lok Sabha election, his success came around only because outside the 5 members, immediate members, he did not give any ticket to 6th Yadav candidate. Outside few Muslim candidates, he refused to give tickets to Muslim candidates. So yes, he kind of tried to experiment and he benefited out of it. Now it remains to be seen how much of this experiment can Tejasvi Yadav afford to do in Bihar. However,
so is that the challenge, that for Tejasvi Yadav he has to go beyond MY?
Of course, because
Muslim plus Yadav is 35%, much greater than UP, but he still needs additional support from other groups.
Rajdeep, it's a self-defeating equation. When was the last time Lalu Yadavji won in Bihar? Do you remember that? The only person who has been winning Bihar is Nitish Kumar. Without Nitish Kumar, nobody is able to win. Why? Because he significantly holds true of some voter which he takes as a pendulum this way or that way and that way. So MY on its own is a self-defeating argument. That's the bottom line. Can they do MY plus? If they, otherwise every party in India actually has some or other basic caste equation working in its favor in different states. That's the social fabric. Let's not forget it. Caste is the social fabric. So more than Bihar, it is the Tamil Nadu. Look at the Tamil Nadu politics. What kind of casteist politics that you have? I think Tamil Nadu beats Bihar hands down as far as the caste equations are concerned. But Bihar gets to, get all the wrong brownies in that way. That it is a caste-driven politics. So all I'm simply trying to say, yes, you are correct in your assessment that Bihar remains stuck over there, but it is a self-defeating construct. Because they cannot win Bihar by MY, they have to go for MY plus. That plus has to be youth, women as the new one, or the middle class, as Akhilesh Yadav won in 2012 in Uttar Pradesh. It was youth, women, and the middle class that made him win the election.
And there is that 1,000 rupees also which is going to be released, Rajdeep, for the unemployed youth of Bihar. So do you think that youth can again be a constituency this time around? And if they are so critical, then will there be some kind of nostalgia for a chief minister who brought on the surface the subnational identity? Although right now Nitish Kumar is largely missing from the political scene.
I think just one data point, if I add here, On 105 seats, the same caste is winning, has been winning in 3 elections. On 113 seats, 2 out of 3 elections, the same caste wins. So it becomes 218 actually out of 243. Anyways, so youth, if we measure the amount of anti-incumbency, the youth show the highest anti-incumbency because they consume everything on social media. However, unlike 2020, when Tejasvi Yadav got a lot of support from youth, this time around, even Prashant Kishor is getting traction amongst youth. So the youth which is disgruntled, let's say, with the Nitish Kumar regime, is getting divided between 2 camps, Tejasvi and Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor has also, by consistently targeting the education status of Tejasvi Yadav, has impacted his brand image amongst the youth. Because youth prefer educated leaders, etc. Correct? And 30% chunk is still with NDA. So NDA still has 30-35 with Mahagathbandhan and 10 to 15 with Jan Suraaj party as of now.
So let's look at that, the Prashant Kishor factor, the PK factor. There is always an X factor in Indian election. No two Indian elections are the same. The one new factor in Bihar this time is Prashant Kishor, the election strategist turned politician, and his Jan Suraaj party. So this was a poll done by Amitabh Tiwari. It's a catty poll, so done over phone presumably. The question was asked, who is your preferred choice for Chief Minister? And the findings are very interesting. Who is your preferred choice of Chief Minister? Now look at it. We are going from February to June. Tejasvi Yadav is still number 1, which is 34.6%, which is roughly paralleling the Muslim Yadav vote of Bihar.
Yes.
Nitish Kumar came in at 17.4, half of that. But you've also got to add Chirag Paswan's 9.9. He's part of this Gathbandhan, and we'll speak about him in a moment. Samrat Chaudhary, the BJP's face there, 9.6. So add that, Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav are more or less in the same bracket if you add Samrat Chaudhary and Chirag Paswan. But look at Prashant Kishor. He is, as per this survey, the preferred CM candidate of 18%. Now at 18%, if that vote was to, actually if the preference was to translate into votes, he certainly becomes an X factor.
He has reached 20% in the latest.
Yeah, so is Prashant Kishor an X factor? Is he punching above his weight? Yashwant Deshmukh, do you believe that Bihar could well see a new kingmaker in Prashant Kishor?
Well, he has got the traction. In the last month, he has actually got 21%. So he has, he has already reached the 20% mark. As far
and
as
is it mainly the youth?
It's mainly the youth, and majority of his votes are coming from the youths of NDA at this point of time. So he has got the traction, no doubt. And I believe that the similar kind of traction was visible in 2013 for Aam Aadmi Party. Now, but there is a big difference, as Amitabh just said, that, Delhi being a caste agnostic metropolitan city where Aam Aadmi Party could gain that traction and convert that into vote and seat, I am not very sure how much Prashant can actually convert his traction of his personal popularity into vote for his party and those votes into seats for his party. That I am not very sure of, but otherwise, he definitely has captured the imagination of the youth in Bihar and also the migrants, by the way. I mean, it's funny and odd that big number of migrant voters or Biharis that live outside India and outside Bihar. I live in Dubai and it's a very small thing to know at one of the local eateries where I go to eat pav bhaji, and the 2 chefs, one from Munger and one from Patna, I was just talking to them and they said to me that हम भैया बहुत जम के फेसबुक पे लगे हुए हैं. किसके लिए लगे हुए हैं? कि हम जन सुराज के लिए लगे हैं. They did not say PK, जन सुराज के लिए लगे हैं. And that is interesting because if he is capturing the imagination of the youth who have migrated not just within India but outside India, that means he is gaining the traction. My only thing, and which I am always putting up a question mark, can he translate that traction into votes, and can the vote be good enough?
Let me ask that to Pradeep
Yes,
Gupta. Can Prashant Kishor translate traction into votes in his first election? वो कहा जाता है ना, पहला इलेक्शन हारने के लिए लड़ते हैं, दूसरा इलेक्शन हराने के लिए लड़ते हैं और तीसरा इलेक्शन जीतने के लिए लड़ते हैं. Is Prashant Kishor fighting this election to lose, or is he a factor? Can traction translate into votes? Can he be a Arvind Kejriwal like figure? First election, super hit.
No, Rajdeep, you have answered your question yourself. First election, second election and third election. For that matter, I always keeps on saying, anything in life you begin, it needs 15 years to graduate. Whether you do a simple graduation by starting as a standard 1 student and 12 plus 3, you need 15 years. So this is what it is. Now the question is how much vote share he will gain this time, and whatever he gained this time, whatever that number be, where this is coming from. Because this is the first time he's contesting the election in Bihar Assembly. So this is the question remain to be answered. And as far as youth and women, still I would say in Bihar, still whether it's a youth or the women, they belong to certain caste. So beyond caste, if somebody is, I cannot imagine Bihar voting beyond caste politics.
Because Prashant himself is upper caste. Do you believe, therefore, that is his biggest challenge? Can he break the caste barriers in Bihar?
See, if you see Azim Premji study, it says 55% of voters in India prefer leaders from their own caste. That number is 57% in Bihar. So it is difficult. But on the positive side, 43% people are not voting on caste. They are voting on development and other issues. So this 43% chunk is largely he is targeting at. However, as Yashwantji said and Pradeepji have said, that 21% CM ratings is fine. But how many people are voting on the basis of the CM face? That's the bigger question, correct? Everybody is not voting on the CM face. If everybody is voting on the CM face, then his vote share will be 21%.
But in Bihar, people vote in the name of leaders.
In Lok Sabha election, only 10% people voted for the prime ministerial face. So if a Lok Sabha election can become localized, which it became localized in 3 states, which led to the decline of the tally of the BJP, then Bihar is a hyper-local election. Leadership, I would guess, maybe 15% in our surveys. Only 15% people are saying that they are going to vote for the CM face. He can be a vote cutter. Is it a triangular contest? No, because for triangular contest, you need 15-20% vote share. I don't see him getting that at this point of time.
Okay, so if Bihar is a bipolar contest, something that we have seen for several decades now, Pradeep Gupta, my question then would be that where is Nitish Kumar standing in all this? Because let's be clear, this is an election which will mark the end of an era in real sense, because all the JP's proteges will be out of the political scene.
See, Maria, when you say Nitish Kumar, when you are asking Nitish Kumar, I'm sure you are asking Nitish Kumar minus NDA or BJP. You know, these are the two phenomena, and this time, what is the situation on the ground, I can easily see that. लोगों को नीतीश 20 years का एंटी इनकम्बेंसी है वगैरह वगैरह एटसेट्रा हेल्थ का इशू है, काफ़ी हो गया, एक फटीक फैक्टर आता है वगैरह वगैरह. बट स्टिल देयर इज अ लार्ज चंक among the NDA votes who are hoping somehow or the other that कि somehow इस बार तो बीजेपी का सीएम बन जाएगा, इस बार बीजेपी का सीएम बनेगा. बिकॉज उड़ीसा जैसे राज्य में, नॉन हिंदी स्पीकिंग राज्य में भी बीजेपी की खुद की सरकार बन गई है. सो दे आर समहाउ एमिंग दिस, और ये एक बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर होने वाला है. वेदर सी इट इज गो ओके कि देयर इज एंटी इनकम्बेंसी, बट वेयर टू स्विच. तो वेयर टू स्विच में इस बार 3 लोग खड़े हुए हैं, जैसे इन द ऑर्डर, वन इज द बीजेपी, सेकंड इज द आरजेडी और द Tejasvi Yadav, and third is the Prashant Kishor. This is something very interesting in this Bihar election.
Okay, we haven't discussed one aspect before I ask each of you to give your predictions, which is vote chori. Rahul Gandhi has gone on a Bihar Vote Adhikar Yatra. Now, in recent elections, Congress has been the Kamzor Kadi. Last time they contested 70 seats, 119. Had the Congress even done marginally better, Tejasvi would have become the chief minister. Is the Congress a factor in Bihar because of Rahul Gandhi getting a relatively enthusiastic response? Yashwant Deshmukh, does your tracker poll show any traction for the Congress, or do they remain the Kamzor Kadi of this Mahagathbandhan?
I would call a Kamjor Kadi in that way because whenever Rahul Gandhi has hit the road, it has benefited. I mean, anybody who does some groundwork, it will help in politics. So Bharat Jodo Yatra did help Congress big time, no doubt about that. However, as an issue, this SIR or the vote chori thing, we still haven't really found a traction as such, which is among the swing vote. What I'm simply trying to say, the support for the vote chori campaign is coming from the basically already converted voter. You know, you don't convert the converted, already converted. You need a middle of the ground swing voter to switch over to you. So what is happening in Bihar, it's like in Hindi we say, kawa kaan le gaya. You know, जो से राजदीप तुम्हारा कान कौवा ले गया, अब राजदीप will say कौवा कौवा कौवा, और राजदीप will simply, you know, touch the कान की कान है कहाँ. So people, if they will find that their vote name is very much on the voter list, it will not become an issue.
Okay, we have exactly 2 minutes on the show, and we now come to predictions. Remember, we are going to hold all of these people accountable for what they say today on the day the actual counting takes place. It's not been easy to get them to say it, but one by one I'm going to go to each of them. Amitabh Tiwari is first. He perhaps feels he has less skin in the game since he didn't predict 2024, but this is what Amitabh Tiwari has predicted for Bihar. Let's look at Amitabh Tiwari because he has been the most direct. You have predicted NDA 130, 135, Mahagathbandhan 100 to 110, Jan Suraaj 0 to 5, others to 0 to 5. So you are predicting that Nitish Kumar or the NDA will form the next government in Bihar.
If elections are held today, correct? If elections are held today, that is what
is going to change between now and then?
A lot of things change. 1.5 months, candidates, it's all about candidates. Tomorrow, if there is poor candidate selection by the NDA or the Mahagathbandhan, both will suffer. Correct? Okay. So as of today, it's a close contest, but NDA has a slight edge because Mahagathbandhan is not being able to move beyond the MY vote. It is not able to make a dent in NDA vote share.
Okay. Yashwant Deshmukh was the next that we asked. Yashwant Deshmukh has done what most Indians do, कि दो scenario आपको दिखाएंगे. So he's given us two scenarios. Scenario one, you're saying NDA 125 with 43% vote share, RJD 110. Very similar in a way to last time. But scenario two is you're giving NDA 175, almost a sweep like in Maharashtra, with a slight 3% up to 46%. Explain very quickly.
Keep an eye on the voter turnout as far as the female voters are concerned. If the female voters turnout is at par with the male turnout, scenario one is likely to pay. If the female turnout goes down, then that is the one scenario where RJD plus can get a majority. But if the female turnout is even 3% more than the male turnout, and this is what you are going to end up.
Okay, the cleverest guy has been Pradeep Gupta because he's decided to not take any risks. So take a look at Pradeep Gupta's predictions. He wants to make everyone look happy. His first possible scenario is an NDA majority. His second possible scenario is a RJD majority. His third possible scenario is a Jan Suraaj party majority. Now you please decide once and for all. Possible scenario one, most likely. Possible scenario two, less likely. Third scenario, least likely. Am I right? 1, 2, 3.
No, you are not right, Rajdeep. This is not the
so
way.
What is it?
So I'm coming to that.
You know,
so,
you are supposed to be from Mumbai.
No.
Thoda to satta laga do.
First of all, I am in a no position to predict whatsoever at this point of time. As I mentioned earlier, even Bihar voters, the floating voters, doesn't know whom to vote. They are still waiting and watching what is coming onto their way, and they will take the decision at the last minute. But there are all three possibilities which is there. NDA can win, RJD plus can win, and Prashant Kishor's case, in case, which is very, least possibility in that sense, if en masse vote of minority votes shift and they believe that Prashant Kishor has some kind of attraction and he can beat the NDA or the BJP, then scenario will be totally different.
No, but But Rajdeep, I want to know from you, Pradeep Gupta, what is the percentage of floaters? Because you're emphasizing on floaters. Isn't Bihar one of those states where there are least number of those silent or floaters?
In case of Bihar, it is far easier. It is like this. About 30% odd for the NDA, about 30% odd for the Gathbandhan, and rest is the floater voter in case of Bihar. Because of small parties,
Yes.
I'll tell you, not a single election in last 5 terms, I would say 5 terms, where apart from these Gathbandhan, even last time, the others, including LJP, secured 26% vote. What does it mean?
Yes.
They are not loyal to any of these major parties.
Okay, so basically Pradeep Gupta is saying tomorrow in Mumbai it could rain, it could be very sunny, or it could be cloudy. You choose your pick. I want to also say, we use the word chamar during that graphic. I apologize for that. It's a word that we shouldn't be using. And therefore my apologies for having used that word in the context of the graphic that we put out. But I'm going to give someone who's a daughter of the soil of Bihar the final word. Maria, you've just been to Bihar. You've interviewed Tejasvi on the road. Give me your number. Or you don't have to give me a number. You tell me which way the wind is blowing.
Look, Rajdeep, last time I'll be making the comparison between all the elections that I've seen. 2015 was a clear landslide election. 2020 it became a close contest because Tejasvi hit the ground. This time he has hit the ground way in advance. But be prepared right now. Only after the model code of conduct is announced, we'll see the clear picture. But this direct benefit transfer is something that is drawing the women of Bihar. So if Tejasvi Yadav has the Muslim Yadav, the NDA has the Mahila and youth, because both these constituencies, both these crucial demographics are getting benefits of the state through direct benefit transfer.
Okay, so Maria is also playing a little safe. What is your number, but
Rajdeep,
sorry?
you can give the number.
After I am still wiping the egg off my face from 2024 general elections. So
number, which he's not going to tell us here. He's
no,
just going to play it safe.
I will say
Rajiv, own up the numbers, please.
No, look, I will say
own
this.
up the numbers.
I'm in this state where I got the election right. I predicted that the NDA would win Maharashtra. So I'm going to stick to that. Always stick to your last prediction that you get right. I will let you know quietly what will happen in Bihar and then say I got it right after the election results. I am not as brave as psephologists are. I don't know why they are so brave. Maybe because they get paid by political parties. But we will discuss that on another day. For now, Maria, Amitabh Tiwari, Yashwant Deshmukh and Pradeep Gupta, thank you very much. We will leave the voters of Bihar to decide kaun jeetega Bihar. Thank you very much.